What if the last barbecue you savored was your final meal? Imagine the smoky ribs, the laughter, the warm Texas sun setting over your backyard, then nothing. Just silence because your heart gave out without a whisper of warning. For Linda Harper, a 62-year-old mom from suburban Dallas, that's a question she never thought she'd face. Linda's the kind of woman who lights up a room without trying. She's got curly gray hair she tucks behind her ears, a laugh that echoes through the house, and a knack for making everyone feel at home. Her days are filled with the simple joys of life, cooking for her family, chasing her grandkids around the yard, settling into her recliner to cheer on contestants in The Voice. It's Tuesday night, and Linda's in her happy place. She's sprawled on the couch, a bowl of popcorn in her lap, humming along to Blake Shelton's latest quip on TV. The living room smells like the lemon candles she loves, and outside, crickets chirp in the humid Texas air. Her husband Mike's in his armchair, flipping through a sports magazine. He's a former high school football star who still talks about his glory days. Their two grandkids, Emma and Noah, left an hour ago after a chaotic evening of hide and seek. Linda's smiling, thinking about how Noah's giggle sounds just like her son's at that age. Then it happens, a sharp twinge in her chest, like someone squeezing her ribs too tight. It's quick, gone in a blink, and Linda brushes it off as indigestion from the chili she made for dinner. She shifts on the couch, takes a sip of water, and refocuses on the TV. No big deal, right? But deep down, something feels off, a nagging little whisper she can't quite shake. She's been feeling off lately, nothing dramatic, just small things piling up. She chalks it up to being 62, to the wear and tear of raising a family and keeping up with life. Linda's not alone in this. Millions of Americans over 60 miss the subtle signs their heart's sending them. Studies from the American Heart Association say heart disease is the #1 killer after 60, and it often sneaks up quietly. No sirens, no flashing lights. By the time you notice, it might be too late. Think about it. When was the last time you felt a little weird and ignored it? A flutter in your chest, a wave of exhaustion, a random ache you blamed on sleeping funny? Linda's about to learn those aren't just quirks of aging, they're warnings screaming for attention. She doesn't know it yet, but her heart's been dropping hints for months. It's not the Hollywood heart attack you see in movies, no clutching the chest, no dramatic collapse, just quiet clues her body's begging her to catch. And if she doesn't, well, the stakes couldn't be higher. Linda's story isn't just hers, it could be yours, your mom's, your neighbor's. Over the next few minutes, we're diving into the top 6 warning signs of a heart attack after 60, signs that could save your life if you spot them now. Stick with me, because what you're about to hear might be the wake-up call you didn't know you needed. Before we dig deeper, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? If these insights about living stronger past 65 hit home, share your thoughts below and consider subscribing. Things are heating up, and you won't want to miss what's next. Let's keep going. Linda's night is about to take a turn. It's 9:30 p.m., and Linda's eyelids are getting heavy. The voice is winding down, and she's ready to call it a night. She stands up, stretches, and heads to the kitchen to grab a glass of milk, a habit she's had since she was a kid. That's when the twinge hits again, sharper this time, radiating across her chest like a hot wire. She freezes, hand on the fridge door, breathing shallowly as the sensation fades. Probably just tired, she mutters to herself, shaking her head. Linda's not one to fuss over little aches. She's tough, raised 3 kids, survived Texas summers without AC back in the day. This is nothing, she thinks. Mike glances over from the living room. You okay, hon? His voice is casual, but there's a flicker of worry in his eyes. He knows Linda's stubborn streak better than anyone. Yeah, just a cramp or something. She waves him off, forcing a smile. No need to stir up trouble over nothing. But as she pours the milk, her mind drifts. She's been more tired lately, hasn't she? Last weekend, she could barely keep up with Emma's energy at the park. Usually, she's the one leading the charge. She shrugs it off again. Grandkids will wear anyone out, right? The truth is, Linda's heart's been working overtime, and she's missing the signals. Fatigue isn't just grandma tired, it's one of the top signs your heart's struggling to pump blood like it should. The Mayo Clinic says it's a red flag, especially after 60, when your ticker's not as spry as it once was. She heads upstairs, milk in hand, ready to crawl into bed. The twinge is gone, and she's already half convinced it was a fluke. Linda's not a worrier, she's the rock of the family, the one who keeps everyone else steady. But tonight, that rock's starting to crack, and she doesn't even know it. In bed, she scrolls through her phone pictures of the grandkids, a recipe for peach cobbler she wants to try. Her chest feels fine now, and she's drifting off, the hum of the ceiling fan lulling her to sleep. Tomorrow's another day, more cooking, more family, more life. But what if tomorrow doesn't come the way she expects? Heart attacks don't care about your plans, they strike when you least expect, often after months of silent warnings. Linda's on a collision course with something she can't see yet, and it's closer than she thinks. Science backs this up. The Journal of Gerontology reports that women over 60, like Linda, often dismiss early heart attack signs as stress or aging. That twinge, it's not indigestion, it could be angina, a sign her heart's not getting enough oxygen. And it's just the beginning. Linda's not thinking about that now, she's dreaming of barbecue and grandkids, her breath soft and even. But those little off moments she's been ignoring, they're piling up, each one a breadcrumb leading to a truth she's not ready to face. She's got no idea that her cozy Tuesday night was the start of something bigger, something that'll test her strength, her family, and everything she thought she knew about growing older. 6 warning signs are lurking in her daily life, and spotting them could mean the difference between life and death. For Linda, it's not about fear, it's about living long enough to see Emma graduate, to dance with Mike at their 40th anniversary. She doesn't know it yet, but her heart's begging her to listen, and soon, she'll have no choice. Over the next few weeks, those signs will creep: louder shortness of breath, unexplained aches, a fatigue that clings like damp heat. Linda's story is about to unfold, and it's one every person over 60 needs to hear, because it's not just her heart on the line. What's the first sign you've noticed in yourself or someone you love? Maybe it's that tiredness that won't quit, or a strange ache you can't pin down. Whatever it is, don't ignore it like Linda did. Her journey's just starting, and it's about to get real. This isn't just a story, it's a lifeline, a chance to catch what Linda missed before it's too late. 6 signs, 6 chances to save a life, maybe hers, maybe yours, and it all begins with that twinge she brushed off tonight. Linda's sleeping now, blissfully unaware, but the clock's ticking, her heart's whispering warnings, and soon, they'll turn into a shout. Let's follow her, step by step, into a wake-up call that could change everything for her and for you. Linda wakes up Wednesday morning feeling like she's been hit by a truck. Her body's heavy, her eyes gritty, like she didn't sleep a wink despite 8 solid hours. She drags herself to the kitchen, the smell of coffee pulling her along. But that twinge from last night lingers in her mind. Just a fluke, she tells herself, popping bread in the toaster. She's got a busy day ahead, no time to fuss. By noon, she's knee-deep in her routine, prepping meatloaf for dinner, folding laundry, planning a weekend barbecue with the neighbors. But as she hauls a basket of clothes upstairs, her breath catches. It's like the air's turned to molasses, thick and hard to pull in. She pauses on the landing, hand on the railing, thinking, when did stairs get this tough? Shortness of breath isn't new to Linda, it's crept up over months, sneaky as a Texas summer storm. The American Heart Association says it's a classic sign your heart's not pumping enough oxygen. Rich blood could be a blocked artery, a tired ticker working overtime. She blames the heat, the humidity, anything but the truth staring her in the face. Later, she's out in the yard, watering her roses, her pride and joy since Mike built the flower beds 20 years ago. The hose feels heavier today, and a dull ache blooms in her left arm, like she slept on it wrong, except it's been happening too often to ignore. She shakes it off, muttering, getting old's no picnic, but deep down, she's starting to wonder. That ache's no coincidence. The Mayo Clinic calls it a red flag, a sign of angina or worse, when blood flow to the heart's choked off. It's not always chest pain for women like Linda. It can radiate to the arm, subtle but sinister. She doesn't connect the dots, yet she's too busy planning tonight's The Voice watch party. By afternoon, Linda's wiped out, not the usual busy day tired, but a bone-deep fatigue that makes her sink into the couch like it's quicksand. She's always been a go-getter, raising kids, running a house, keeping up with grandkids, but lately, even small tasks leave her drained. Maybe I need more coffee, she jokes to herself, but it's no laughing matter. Fatigue like this isn't normal. Aging studies in the Journal of Gerontology link it to heart failure, when your heart can't keep up with your body's demands. Linda's heart's been whispering for help, but she's too stubborn or maybe too scared to listen. She pushes through because that's who she is, the rock everyone leans on. Dinner rolls around, and Linda's in the kitchen, stirring gravy. The smell of meatloaf fills the air, a Texas comfort classic. Suddenly, a wave of nausea hits her, sharp and sour, like she ate something bad, but she hasn't eaten since lunch. She grips the counter, waiting it out, thinking, what's wrong with me today? Nausea's a sneaky one. The American Heart Association lists it as a heart attack warning sign, especially in women over 60, often brushed off as a stomach bug or stress. Linda's not stressed, she's happy, surrounded by family, but her heart's telling a different story. She sips water, shrugs it off, and keeps cooking. Denial's her shield. Mike wanders in, sniffing the air. Smells like heaven. Hon, you okay? You look pale. Linda forces a grin. Just a long day, nothing a good meal won't fix. But as she plates the food, her back aches, not the usual stiffness, but a nagging pain that's been creeping up for weeks. Back pain's another clue. The Mayo Clinic says it can signal heart trouble when oxygen-starved muscles scream for help. Linda's been popping ibuprofen, blaming her old mattress. But it's not the bed, it's her ticker, and it's getting louder. She sits down to eat, hiding the discomfort behind a smile. After dinner, Linda's clearing the table when her heart does a little flip, a quick, erratic thud that stops her cold. It's not the first time she's felt these flutters before, usually at night, lying in bed, but tonight, it's sharper, more insistent. Just my imagination, she whispers, but her hands tremble as she stacks the dishes. Irregular heartbeats aren't just quirky, they're a warning from the American Heart Association, a sign of atrial fibrillation or worse, where blood clots can form and trigger a heart attack. Linda's heart's been off rhythm for months, but she's never told Mike. She doesn't want to worry him. She's the strong one, after all. It's 8 p.m., and The Voice is on. Linda's curled up with a blanket, trying to enjoy her show. But the signs are piling up: shortness of breath on the stairs, that ache in her arm, the crushing fatigue, the nausea, the back pain, and now her heart's skipping beats. She's a walking checklist, but she doesn't see it, not yet. Science says she's not alone. Women over 60 often miss these signs, mistaking them for menopause leftovers or aging quirks. The Journal of Gerontology notes that 50% of heart attack victims had symptoms for weeks, even months, before the big one hit. Linda's in that window, and time's running out. Mike's snoring softly beside her, oblivious to the storm brewing in her chest. She glances at him, his gray hair, his steady breathing, and thinks about their life together, the barbecues, the grandkids, the quiet nights like this. She doesn't know it, but she's one step from losing it all. Thursday morning, Linda's back at it: coffee, toast, a quick call to her daughter about the weekend plans. The twinge is back, sharper now, and her arms tingling again. She rubs it absent-mindedly, blaming the laundry haul. Denial's her armor, but it's cracking fast. By lunchtime, she's winded from a short walk to the mailbox. Her chest feels tight, like a rubber band stretched too far. She sits on the porch, catching her breath, watching kids bike by. Her grandkids' laughter echoes in her mind. I'm fine, she insists, but her body's screaming otherwise. The 6 signs are in full swing now: shortness of breath, fatigue, arm pain, nausea, back pain, irregular heartbeats, each one a flare. Her heart's firing off. The Mayo Clinic says anyone's a reason to call a doctor, but all 6? Linda's a ticking time bomb, and she's still cooking dinner like nothing's wrong. Friday nights, quiet Linda's making cookies for the grandkids, the kitchen warm with the scent of vanilla and sugar. She's humming a tune from The Voice, but the nausea's back, and her back's throbbing. She leans on the counter, steadying herself. Mike's out getting firewood, and she's alone with her thoughts. That's when the big one hits, not the heart attack, not yet, but a moment that shakes her. She tries to lift the cookie tray, and her legs buckle. She grabs the oven door, heart racing, breath shallow, a cold sweat breaking out. "Mike," she calls, voice weak, and he rushes in, eyes wide. He drops the wood, grabs her shoulders. "What's wrong, hon? You're white as a sheet." Linda's trembling. "I don't know, I couldn't stand up." Mike's face hardens. He's seen this before. His dad's heart attack 10 years ago started just like this. He dials 911, voice steady but shaking inside. Linda's protesting. "It's nothing. I'm fine." But her words slur and her arms numb. The operator's calm. "Stay with her, sir, help's on the way." Linda's sinking, the kitchen spinning, her heart pounding a frantic SOS. Paramedics burst in, lights flashing outside. Linda's on the floor now, clutching Mike's hand, her breath ragged. They hook her up to monitors, and the beeps are erratic. Her heart's crying out. 6 signs ignored too long. "We've got to move fast," one says, and Mike's world tilts. Linda's eyes meet his, scared but stubborn. "I didn't think it was this bad." Mike squeezes her hand. "You're gonna be okay, hon, I've got you." But as they wheel her out, he's praying, because those signs she dismissed, they're not whispers anymore, they're a roar. The ambulance doors slam, and Linda's fading. The 6 warnings she missed are now her reality. Shortness of breath, fatigue, arm pain, nausea, back pain, irregular beats. They're not quirks, they're a countdown. And tonight, that clock's about to hit 0. She's not gone yet, but she's closer than ever. The next few hours will decide everything. Linda's story's at a crossroads, and what happens next could save her or end her. 6 signs, 1 chance. Let's see where they take her. The ambulance tears through the Dallas night, sirens wailing, red lights slicing the dark. Linda's on the stretcher, oxygen mask fogging with her shallow breaths. Mike's beside her, gripping her hand, his voice a shaky mantra. "Hang on, hon, you're tougher than this." Her chest's a vice, squeezing tighter, and the 6 signs she ignored are now a deafening alarm. In the ER, it's chaos. Doctors swarm, monitors beep wildly. A nurse yells, "She's crashing." Linda's heart's a battlefield, a blocked coronary artery, choking off blood flow. The American Heart Association says it's classic. 80% of heart attacks over 60 start this way. She's slipping, vision blurring, thinking of Emma's gap-toothed grin, Noah's sticky hugs. "Not yet," she whispers. They rush her to surgery. A stent's her lifeline, a tiny mesh tube to pry open the artery. The cardiologist, Dr. Patel, works fast, sweat beading on his brow. "We caught it just in time," he tells Mike later. 30 minutes more, and she'd be gone. Linda's alive, but barely. Those 6 signs nearly wrote her ending. She wakes in a sterile room, tubes snaking from her arm, the hum of machines a grim lullaby. Mike's there, eyes red, holding her hand like it's the only thing keeping him upright. "You scared me to death, hon," he chokes out. Linda manages a weak smile. "Guess I'm too stubborn to quit." Dr. Patel sits them down, voice firm but kind. "You've got coronary artery disease. Those signs, the shortness of breath, the arm pain, all of it was your heart begging for help." He pulls up a chart. Fatigue, nausea, back pain, irregular beats. These aren't quirks, they're SOS signals, and you ignored them too long. Linda nods, guilt and relief warring in her chest. He doesn't sugarcoat it. "You're lucky, but this is your wake-up call. Change now, or next time, we won't save you." Mike squeezes her hand. "We're in this together, hon, whatever it takes." Linda's shaken, but something shifts. She's not ready to leave her family, not yet. Days later, she's home, frail but fierce. The grandkids climb on her lap, gentler now, sensing she's fragile. Emma asks, "Are you okay, Nana?" And Linda hugs her tight. "I will be, sweetie. Nana's got some fight left." She's determined. Those 6 signs won't steal her future. Dr. Patel's words echo your heart needs fuel, not junk. Start with food. Linda digs into the science. The Mayo Clinic says leafy greens like spinach flush arteries with nitrates, easing blood flow. She swaps fries for sautéed spinach, her kitchen blooming with green. Tomatoes join the lineup. Their lycopene, a heart-shielding antioxidant, cuts LDL cholesterol, says the American Heart Association. She blends them into sauces, tosses them in salads. Mike jokes, "We're eating like Italians now," but he's all in. Linda's not just cooking, she's fighting. Broccoli's next. Its fiber scrubs arteries clean. Potassium keeps blood pressure steady, per Journal of Gerontology Studies. She steams it with garlic, another heart hero, and finds she loves the crunch. Who knew veggies could taste this good? She laughs, feeling lighter already. Exercise comes slow, no marathons, just walks around the block, her sneakers scuffing the Texas pavement. The Mayo Clinic says 30 minutes a day boosts circulation, strengthens the heart. Linda starts with 10, Mike at her side, their hands brushing. Each step's a promise she's not giving up. She checks her heart, now a monitor from the pharmacy tracks her pulse. No more guessing about those flutters. Dr. Patel says regular checkups catch trouble early. Don't wait for signs to scream, he warns. Linda's learning to listen, to trust her body's whispers. Weeks pass, and Linda's changing. The fatigue's lifting, her breath steadier, no more twinges or aches. She's not invincible, but she's stronger. The 6 signs that nearly killed her are fading into memory. Mike notices, "You've got your spark back, hon," and she beams. One evening, she's in the yard, planting a veggie garden, spinach, tomatoes, broccoli sprouting under her care. It's her rebirth, dirt under her nails, sun on her face, a Texas grandma fighting for every day. Emma helps, giggling, Nana's growing heart food. Linda's kitchen's a lab now. She experiments with recipes, trading grease for greens, finding joy in the shift. Mike grills lean chicken. No more heavy ribs. We're still Texans, just smarter ones. He winks. They're a team, rebuilding her heart one bite at a time. A month later, she's back at Dr. Patel's. Her numbers stun him. Cholesterol down, blood pressure steady. "You're a miracle, Linda. Most don't bounce back like this," he says, shaking his head. She grins. "I've got grandkids to chase, no heart attacks stopping me." She's not just surviving, she's thriving, stronger than ever, a testament to what listening can do. The 6 signs: shortness of breath, fatigue, arm pain, nausea, back pain, irregular beats. They're her teachers now, not her doom. Linda's rewriting her story, one choice at a time. It's a Saturday, barbecue day, but this one's different. No smoke, just fresh salads and laughter. Neighbors marvel, "Linda, you're glowing. What's the secret?" She smiles. "Pay attention to your heart. It's smarter than you think." Mike pulls her aside. "I almost lost you, hon. Now look at us." They dance in the yard, slow and steady, her heart beating strong, no flutters, just rhythm. Linda whispers, "We've got years left. Let's make 'em count." Science backs her up. The American Heart Association says diet and movement cut heart attack risk by 50% if you start early. Linda's proof: those 6 signs don't have to win, not if you fight back with greens, steps, and grit. She's living it, day by day. Emma runs up. "Nana, you're the best." And Linda scoops her up. No strain, no shortness of breath, just joy. Noah's next, sticky fingers and all, and she's got energy for both. Her heart's holding steady, a warrior now. This is why she fought for them. Linda's garden grows, her strength blooms. She's not the woman who ignored the signs anymore. She's a survivor, a grandma with a mission to live long enough for every milestone, every hug. Those 6 warnings? They're her roadmap to a longer life. Nights are quiet now, the voice on. Linda curled up with Mike. No twinges, no fear. She's learned the hard way: your heart doesn't lie, and neither should you. She's got a second chance, and she's grabbing it with both hands. Think about your own heart. Any of those signs ringing a bell? Shortness of breath after a walk, fatigue that won't quit, an ache you can't explain. Don't wait like Linda did. She's here to tell you, act now, and you can rewrite your ending too. Linda's story's a lifeline. 6 signs, one big lesson. Listen, change, live. She's planting seeds, chasing grandkids, dancing with Mike, all because she finally heard her heart's cry. You can too. Start today and make your years count. It's Sunday morning, and Linda's sipping coffee, watching the sun rise. Her garden's green, her family's close, her heart steady. She's not just alive, she's vibrant. A Texas tough grandma who beat the odds. I'm here, she whispers, and smiles. She means it. Those 6 signs try to take her: shortness of breath, fatigue, arm pain, nausea, back pain, irregular beats, but she turned them into power. Linda's living proof. Your heart's warning you for a reason, and fighting back works. She's not done yet, and neither are you. What's your next step? A walk, a salad, a checkup? Linda's cheering you on. From her Texas porch to wherever you are, you've got this, she'd say. Her heart's beating strong, and yours can too. 6 signs, one choice, a lifetime ahead.